on that.
All right.
Eagle Med 28, Greensboro departure, radar contact, climb maintain 12000.
That's that bare strip, left to right, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And remember that this is a nice 152. There's one of them out here that's got the lumbar thing in the pilot's seat. It literally feels like a metal bar that's just right down to the low part of your back. I mean, it is terrible. These seats are pretty comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Eagle Med 28, leaving 4000, clear direct Yadki.
Yeah, it's processed a little bit again. I think just a little bit, but.
All right, 232 or so. So yeah, we're still not on it and it's no longer improving. So let's go ahead and fly 210 for a few minutes.
All right.
20 degrees is not that big of a, you know.
Yeah, but the VOR is off the, it's not necessarily dead center on the runway, right? It's kind of displaced somewhere, right?
I'm just giving you something to track that should get us near the airport as an exercise for tracking the VOR.
Good. Sounds good.
I didn't really line it up, but it looked to me like 240 should be very close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so there's Ashboro underneath us.
It's going to move very quickly now because they're very close to the airport, yeah.
Well, this isn't at the airport. This is behind us.
Oh, behind us.
Right?
Oh,
the Liberty VOR.
Oh, yeah, now it's from. Okay, I gotcha. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, we're...
IFR cancellation received. Change proof, squawk VFR, have a good day.
Let's try not to talk over the controller just in case he's looking for us.
Right.
Yeah, this is the Liberty VOR that we flew to and now we're flying from.
0, yeah.
And here's the airport.
All right.
So I just kind of looked at the compass rose and guessed that's 210, 220, 230. I figured 240 would get us right near it, and there it is. Nicely centered. Now let's stay on it.
Departure, good evening. Spirit Wing 743, 2.3, climbing 5,000, 190 heading.
Spirit Wing 743, Greensboro departure, radar contact, climb maintain 12000.
Climb maintain 12,000, Spirit Wing 743.
All right, so since we're now, let's see, we're still on the south to west side of the compass rose, so we're fine at 4,500.
Eagle Med 28, contact Atlanta Center.
But when we turn back towards Sanford, we're going to have to drop down to 3,500.
Okay.
And so I'm going to let him, he probably doesn't really care, but I'm going to tell him when we do the turn, I'm going to say we're heading back to Tango Tango Alpha, descending to 3,500. If he's, these guys are pretty friendly, but some cities, they're pretty snippy, and they'll come back with VFR altitude at your discretion, sir, like you're irritating them by telling them. So you just, whatever. Let them know, and they can like it or not.
Spirit Wing 743, clear direct Bolt.
Up to Bolt, Spirit Wing 743.
So the trick to this
40 Bravo, no
is to pick a heading. Don't just wander, but tell yourself, all right, I'm going to go to 250 and see if I can get that to center up again. And I'm going to hold 250 for a few minutes. It takes time to get over there.
Change proof, squawk VFR, have a good day.
Otherwise, your track will kind of become this perpetually. So you kind of need to, you're always aiming for something, and you're going to hold it until you figure out what does that do for me. So yeah, that brought it back in. So now let's go to 240.
40 Bravo, Greensboro approach.
4640 Bravo, go ahead.
4046, correction, 4640 Bravo, no traffic observed between you and Ashboro. Frequency change proof, squawk VFR, have a good day.
All right, I'm sorry, sir. I thought we had let you know. We're actually not landing at Asheboro. We're just going to turn back towards Tango Tango Alpha. We'll be descending to 3,500 shortly.
40 Bravo, roger. Advise your eastbound turn.
Thank you. We appreciate it, sir. 40 Bravo.
Gateway 743.
Yeah, the key to tracking a VOR is knowing what heading you're aiming for and then religiously holding it. You can't let the plane wander around because then you're making decisions on unstable data, basically.
Okay.
Okay. So at this point, we're gonna. You can fly this heading for another couple minutes, and we'll do our turn. And matter of fact, let me try to demonstrate the descending
departure computer 4903 with you heading
scenario without changing anything but the power. And keep your eye on the airspeed, see what happens.
Maintain 12000.
All right, so we're at pretty much right at 95, would you say? You got it nicely trimmed out for level flight. And approach Cessna 40 Bravo. We're starting our turn back towards Sanford this time.
40 Bravo, roger.
And we'll also be descending to 3,500, 40 Bravo.
Roger.
Okay. I'm going to take off 200 RPMs. I'm not going to touch anything else. So initially we're going to get some increased airspeed, but because of that increased airspeed, we're going to get some lift. Notice where we're at?
Yeah, well we've descended.
We are descending.
Yep, we are continuing to descend, yep.
About 200 to 300 feet per minute.
Right.
Which is about what you get per 100 RPMs you take off.
But your turn is stabilized, so that drop probably is a little bit less than it was before the rate of descent. Because your weight's less because you're no longer turning. Because there's a load factor, I guess, when you're turning, so that adds.
Well, yeah. The real thing is you're diverting the lift to an angle instead of straight up and down. That's really why you descend in a turn.
Direct Genie, climb maintain 1.
There is some G-force, but only if you maintain altitude.
Turn left direct Genie and 11.
Since we're not maintaining altitude, we're at exactly 1 G this whole time.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to fly it at this. This should be pretty straight towards home. I'm not going to touch anything else. I'm going to take out some more power. I'm going to let it stabilize initially. It's going to drop, speed up, climb, slow down. So it'll oscillate.
A little bit of oscillation.
But let's see where it settles out. Notice the nose is starting to come back up because of the increased airspeed.
Producing the extra lift, okay.
And as it balances itself out, airspeed's going to come right back to 95.
Here, 4903.
Now we're going down at 300 to 400 feet per minute.
4.05, have a good day.
12405.
So trim is really what sets your airspeed. So if you get it set for the speed you want, you can fly without ever retrimming. Just use your throttle to adjust whether you're in a climb or a descent. Now I'm going to hold this nose from going up. I got the throttle back in it.
Yeah, well the trim will help you maintain altitude at certain airspeeds that you kind of...
It doesn't help you maintain altitude. It helps you maintain airspeed. Okay. Power is what's controlling your altitude.
Okay.
So if you change your trim, you're either going to slow down or speed up on the airspeed.
Right. What I'm trying to say is that if you want to have a little bit slower flight and maintain altitude, you can reduce power and then increase your elevator or trim.
Absolutely right. Now notice I haven't touched the trim at all since I took the airplane. The only thing I've changed is the throttle.
Right.
Now we're straight and level.
Yep.
Pretty much the same throttle setting you had us at, maybe a little bit less. And in a minute here, the nose will probably start to trend downwards because I do have a little less power on. But let me get it up a
But
little
if you
bit.
wanted to maintain altitude at, say, like 80 knots, for example, you'd reduce power, but then you'd have to have up elevator to counteract, you know.
That's right.
Right.
Just to maintain 4,000.
You can only do that so much, obviously, until you're slow flight. You know, once you're lower than the slow flight, then you're kind of like, well, you can't
Now you're
keep
going to
doing
stall.
that trick.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's some of those fundamental parts that most of us don't get until we're in it for a while. So I'm just trying to share what I've learned that I found so helpful in my flying. A lot of people, the reason they're chasing the altimeter all the time is because they don't understand what the trim wheel is really doing. It's affecting your airspeed. And until that settles out, as long as you're doing this, you'll be trimming nose up, nose down, nose up, nose down,
Right,
nose up,
it's
nose
a
down.
lot extra chore, and,
Yeah.
and it's not necessary to do that, yeah. All right.
Your plane. You have the controls.
Okay. All right, so we're going to try to maintain 5,000.
Let's see, we got to come to the left a couple degrees here if you don't mind. Take us over to maybe a heading of 100. You can also see that once you do get it trimmed out properly, everything is so much easier. You no longer have to think about the altitude. It's just staying put.
Yeah, the poor man's autopilot, you know.
Yeah. That's probably good right here. Yep. All right, I'm going to get the... Well, I'll just hold off. He might turn us back over to Raleigh approach. Mind if I raise that up for you?
Yeah, we don't need it anymore, thank you. Are you pointing to Sandhills VOR right now? Or no?
492, cleared direct, headed, descend to maintain 3,000. Let me know if you'd like a vector for your descent.
We're heading directly back to Tango Tango Alpha.
Gotcha.
All right, direct.